You start to have a couple of quarters of negative growth, that's when you're in a technical recession. Show you the GDP, or gross domestic product. This is a consideration when looking at the overall economy of Australia. The GDP needs to be positive, which means the economy is growing. That's fairly normal. Once it starts to go into negative territory, that's when the economy starts to contract, and a couple of periods of negative growth means that we're in a technical recession. So we're not in a recession just yet, but it looks like we are going to start to experience some negative growth very soon. So we're just going to look at this bar graph, and this is the quarterly growth on the GDP. So you can see the last little bit from December 2022, it started to taper away, and we've been getting lower quarterly growth volumes. And you might have just seen this in the media now recently, or you might have seen it over the last 12 months, that our quarterly growth is actually lower than our forecast. So we should be running at around about 3 or 4% is fairly normal for annual growth, which means this number should be at 1% or even half a percent. And the last little bit, it's 0.2%, 0.3, 0.5, 0.6, 0.8. So that is contracting, which means the overall economy is not growing as fast as what it should be, or what we anticipate it to be. And once we start to go into this negative growth, so you can see this quarterly growth in this period of September 21 was negative 2%. In the middle of COVID, it was negative 6.9%. So once you start to have a couple of quarters of negative growth, that's when you're in a technical recession. So we haven't hit recession yet, and I don't think we are going to hit a recession. We will avoid it. But what that means is we're coming up to low quarterly growth, so low GDP volumes, which means that there's going to be more pressure on reducing interest rates very soon.